Hey everyone, welcome back to the Listen Up Girl podcast, where I break down the biggest LGBTQ plus stories from around the world, from politics and culture to sports, entertainment, and everything in between. I'm your host, Zach Randles-Friedman, and today we've got a packed episode. We're talking about new rules in international athletes that are forcing female athletes in the UK to pay for a genetic testing just to compete. A new Netflix series from the creator of the hit gay hockey romance Heated Rivalry, and so much more, including some political drama from Washington, if you can believe that. So let's get into it. Female athletes are asked to pay for sex testing. British female track and field athletes are now being asked to pay £185, roughly $235 for their own sex verification test if they want to compete internationally. The requirement comes from World Athletics, the international governing body for track and field, which now mandates that athletes competing in female category undergo testing for the SRY gene, a genetic marker typically associated with the Y chromosome. The test can be conducted through a cheek swab or blood sample and is designed to detect whether a person carries a Y chromosome. According to World Athletes, the policy is part of an effort to prevent transgender and certain intersex women from competing in elite women's events. What's raising eyebrows, however, is the rule is being implemented in the UK. Previously, the World Championships covered the cost of the test, and the female athletes were only required to complete it once in their lifetime. Now, UK Athletics has told athletes hoping to compete internationally that they must pay for the test themselves, and they're being encouraged to complete it as soon as possible to avoid delays in the selection process. Male athletes, notably, do not need to complete the test in order to compete. UK Athletics say it does have a hardship fund available for athletes who cannot afford the cost, but requests will be reviewed case by case. Critics say the move raises serious questions about fairness, access, and continued policing of women's bodies in elite sports. The issue of trans inclusion in athletes has become one of the most contentious debates in global sports, with governing bodies across multiple disciplines, including increasingly strict eligibility rules. Yet another crazy thing that people are attacking transgender and intersex people. Next, Heated Rivalry creator lands a Netflix series. In entertainment news, the creator behind the beloved gay hockey romance Heated Rivalry has landed a major new project at Netflix. According to an exclusive report from Deadline, Jacob Tierney, the writer and director behind the hit adaptation, has secured a straight-to-series order from a historical drama about the teenage years of Alexander the Great. The new show, titled Alexander, will be based on The Golden Mean, the acclaimed novel by Canadian author Annabelle Lyon. Tierney will reunite with Heated Rivalry executive producer Brendan Brady, while also partnering with Jason Bateman and Michael Costgan of Aggregate Films. Just like Heated Rivalry, Tierney will serve both as the writer and the director for the entire series. The show's premise focuses on the relationship between the legendary philosopher Aristotle and the young prince who would eventually become Alexander the Great. Fans of Heated Rivalry are already speculating about whether Tierney's signature storytelling, which blends emotional character drama and themes of identity and power, will bring a similar depth to this historical new show. Next, we have Girlguiding explores sports for trans girls. In the UK, Girlguiding has announced that the creation of a new task force aimed at exploring how the organization can better support trans girls and trans women. The announcement comes just months after the group made a controversial decision to ban trans girls from joining its youth programs, including Rainbows, Brownies, Guides, and Rangers. The decision followed a UK court ruling that defined sex in law as biological sex assigned at birth. Now, Girlguiding says it wants to find ways to maintain connections with the trans community while still complying with the legal framework. The newly created task force includes about 500 volunteers with 16 core panel members representing a range of perspectives, including volunteers, young members, parents, experts, and individuals with lived experience. The panel is currently reviewing more than 100 different proposals aimed at supporting trans people and a wider trans plus community. The announcement has sparked mixed reactions online. Some supporters say the move shows the organization is still committed to inclusion. Others argue true inclusion would mean allowing trans girls to participate in Girl Guiding groups. Girl Guiding says that after launching the initiative, it received over 3,000 responses, many expressing support for trans rights and encouraging the group to remain welcoming and inclusive. Next, the debate over puberty blocker clinical trial. England's medical officer has stepped into an ongoing debate around a proposed clinical trial studying puberty blockers for young people. Speaking at the Health Summit, Chris Whitty warned that too many people without medical or scientific expertise are dominating the conversation. He said the discussion has been flooded with opinions from outside the medical community and urged that decisions be guided by evidence and scientific review rather than political pressure or public outrage. The UK's medicines regulator is now reviewing the study and has suggested increasing the minimum age for participants from 10 to 14. He also stressed that the focus should remain on young people experiencing real distress rather than turning the issue into a political battleground. We're staying in the UK, where UK hate crime law moves forward. In a major legal development, the House of Lords has passed an amendment that could strengthen protections for LGBTQ people under the UK hate crime law. It finalized the amendment would classify anti-LGBTQ hate crimes as aggravated offenses, putting them on the same legal footing as crimes motivated by race or religion. Currently, crimes driven by racial or religious hatred can carry higher maximum sentences. The change would extend those enhanced penalties to crimes targeting people based on sexual orientation or gender identity. Stonewall CEO Simon Blake welcomed the move, saying it sends a powerful message that LGBTQ+ people deserve equal protection under the law. The bill will now return to the House of Commons before it can officially become law. Now let's go to Washington, where there's more political drama. So back in the United States, there's political drama involving the Department of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem. The orange convicted felon announced that Noem will step down from the role at the end of the month and will be replaced by Senator Markwayne Mullin of Oklahoma, who has a long record of anti-LGBTQ positions. The announcement prompted a quick response from Congressman Robert Garcia of California, who celebrated the news online. Garcia posted on his social media saying, "Well, now we don't have to impeach her." Garcia has been one of Noem's most vocal critics while serving as the ranking Democrat on the Oversight Committee. Meanwhile, a separate controversy erupted after a single deleted social media post from Trump appears to suggest that transgender youth might receive gender-affirming surgeries under a future legislative proposal. The post quickly drew backlash from conservative figures, including Matt Walsh and Marjorie Taylor Greene. And our next story is about Britney Spears, who was arrested on suspicion of DUI. So I reported on this yesterday, and I have a little more details. So Britney Spears is once again making headlines. The pop icon was arrested late Wednesday night in Ventura County, California, on suspicion of driving under the influence. According to law enforcement reports, another driver called 911 after noticing a car driving erratically on the highway. California Highway Patrol officers pulled Spears over shortly after. She was taken into custody around 9:30 p.m., booked in the early morning hours, and released a few hours later under a cite and release procedure. Spears is scheduled to appear in court on May 4th. A representative for the singer described the situation as completely inexcusable and said Spears plans to cooperate with the legal process while focusing on her well-being. For fans who have followed Spears' long and complicated relationship with fame, the moment is yet another chapter in a life that continues to play out in the public eye. So that's it for today's episode of Listen Up Girl. If you enjoyed the LGBTQ roundup today, make sure you follow the podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you want to support the show, share it with friends or post it on social media. It really helps more people find the podcast. I'm Randles-Friedman. Until next time, stay informed, loud, and remember, Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is just simply listen up, girl. Wasn't that a cute little exit?